Welcome. You are in the lab room. I'm your host, Lou. Thank you for joining me here on week number 10 in the National Football League. New York Giants hosting the Oakland Raiders. I said this in the preview. Two bad football teams looking to try to get a win against one another. So you got the 3-5 Raiders who were on the cusp of something big in week number 9 and then were blown to smithereens by the Philadelphia Eagles, going up against the New York Giants, who are coming off a bye, winners of 2 straight. And again, I said they were going to somehow win 3 games in a row, get to 3-6 after starting the season 0-6. I don't know how, but they've managed to play some teams that they have been able to beat. But this Giants team is not a team that has impressed me and has shown that they are worthy of being mentioned in the NFC East or least race. And let's just break this game down. I mean, this game was, to me, full of just a comedy of errors. And it looked like a game between two bad football teams that at the end would be 3-6 apiece. And so Jarrell Jernigan's opening kickoff fumble leads to a Terrell Pryor 1-yard touchdown run, essentially a quarterback sneak. It's 7-0 Oakland, and that's what you get from bad teams. Opening kickoff fumble right out the gate. How often does that happen in a game? Not often at all. Teams don't normally fumble on the opening kickoff, but that's what you get when bad football teams are playing against one another. So Oakland out to a 7-0 lead in this football game. That's a lot better than they did a week ago. So if you're Oakland, you're on the road, you're looking to get a victory, that's the kind of start you want to get off to. Pryor doesn't look spry. Maybe something is wrong. You could tell early on in this game. And it didn't take me long to figure this out. Second possession, of course, that being the first possession when they scored the easy touchdown after the fumble. That second possession, when they got the football, Terrell Pryor went to roll out on a bootleg, and he couldn't outrun the defensive end, and it didn't even look like he was trying to run fast. They did a read option. He pulled it out. He tried to run. He ended up sliding, and I'm like, something's not right here. The Terrell Pryor that I know, the Terrell Pryor that has been running around and scored a 93-yard touchdown about 3 weeks ago, he didn't look like that. He was more decisive. He was going to try to make something out of a play. This Terrell Pryor was looking like he was trying to find somewhere to fall down, and I knew that wasn't the Terrell Pryor that I signed up for, so something was wrong. And I couldn't really put my finger on it. I couldn't pinpoint what was wrong. After the game, read an article. He said he felt something was wrong with his knee. I could see it plain as day on that second possession. So I already knew Raiders offensively are going to be in trouble in this game because the one threat, the one thing that you can count on, you can take it away now because Terrell Pryor can't run. He can't extend plays. He can't put pressure on this Giants defense. Now they can just come after him, and now the Raiders can't do anything about it. So Giants block a punt. Demontre Moore, the monster, gets a punt block. S&S by Taylor Cooper, knocks it up at 7. So Giants special teams, they give it with the Jarrell Jernigan's fumble, and they take it away. So they took that football away from the Raiders. They got themselves some points, and they needed that because, again, offensively, this Giants team is not that good. They need some momentum. You lose it early on in the game, you get it right back by the punt block by Demontre Moore. The monster. Scoop and score by Taylor Cooper. It's now 7-7 in this football game. So, big play by the Giants, getting this thing knotted back up at 7 and getting the momentum back on your side in this game versus a bad Raiders team that you need some good things to happen for you so that you can kind of get those Raiders starting to feel like things are going in the wrong direction for them. Another Giants turnover. Peyton Hillis fumbles. Raiders recover deep in Giants territory, get a field goal. It's 10-7. If you're the Raiders, off this fumble, you got to get a touchdown. I mean, he literally fumbled this inside the 10-yard line, maybe at the 12 or so. I believe it was inside the 10, more like the 7-yard line. You got to get a touchdown off of this. These are the type of plays that win you football games. You force the turnover, great. You recover it, even better. Now go get 7 off of it and make them pay for that turnover. Instead, it's like a win for the Giants. You don't get a touchdown after an egregious turnover deep in their territory, you don't get a touchdown, it's like they have won if you can't put 7 on the board. Them holding you to a field goal is like a win for them. That's what they did. You're up 10-7. You're leading in this game, but you got to feel like we just didn't get the job done. We should have come away with more points there if you are the Oakland Raiders. And so 11 plays, 90 yards, a balanced 8-minute drive capped off with a Ruben Randle 5-yard touchdown catch. Giants take the lead at 14-10. If you're the Raiders, hey, it should be 14-14 right now, but instead it's 14-10. You're down because you didn't take advantage of a golden opportunity to put a touchdown on the scoreboard. And again, when you're not a good football team, when you struggle to score, you get a gift like that, and it's wrapped. You got to take it. You have to take it, and you got to deposit it and turn it into points. So now Giants are up 14-10. Tracy Porter, pick 6. House call. Eli Manning being Eli Manning. It's 17-14. Raiders take the lead. Look, you just got to assume that Eli is going to throw at least one. At least one. Normally 2 or 3, but at least one pass that is pickable and able to be run back for a touchdown. Now, is the other team going to take advantage? Are they going to catch it? Are they going to make enough moves to get into the end zone? Is it going to be a straight beeline for the end zone? I don't know. You've got to make sure that once Eli gives you that opportunity, you don't squander it because you may not get another one. But if you're a good football team, if you play good enough defense, Eli will give you opportunities to pick the football off. It's your job to make sure you secure it and you take it to the house. And Tracy Porter did exactly that. Eli threw him a pick 6. He made the house call. It's 17-14. Raiders up in this football game. That's what you get out of Eli Manning this season. Again, he's going to throw 25 or 26 or 27 interceptions this year. He's going to have about 6 or 7, maybe 8 pick 6s when this season is all over with. And I wouldn't be surprised if he set some type of NFL record for most interceptions taken to the house in one season by a quarterback, because it seems like on a weekly basis he has at least one pass taken to the house by the opposition, and nothing was different here. Tracy Porter makes sure he fills that void in this game. Raiders up 17-14. 13-play, 77-yard, 8-minute drive for the Raiders, so they respond to that 11-play, 90-yard, 8-minute drive by the Giants. They respond with a 13, 77-yard, 8-minute drive of their own, but it only ends in a field goal. See, this is the difference between those two drives. That 11-play, 90-yard drive by the Giants ended in a 5-yard Ruben Randle touchdown. That 13-play, 77-yard, 8-minute drive for the Raiders only ends in a Sebastian Janikowski field goal. It's 20-14, but again, you move the football that well, you eat up that much time, you need to cap it off with touchdowns. You know the motto. You know the motto. Field goals don't win games. Touchdowns do. And the Raiders are going to find that out in this game the hard way, that field goals don't win games. Touchdowns do. So, after a bad punt in great field position for the Raiders, Pryor throws a terrible Eli Manning-like pick to Terrell Thomas, who returns it to the 3-yard line where Andre Brown runs it in. It's now a 21-20 lead for the New York Giants. This was an egregious pick. It's an out route. If you're going to throw the out, much like Eli Manning on his out route to Victor Cruz, if you're going to throw the out route, it needs to be on the outside shoulder. You cannot, I repeat, cannot throw an out route in the National Football League slightly behind or blatantly behind, as in the case of these 2 interceptions. You can't throw the football on an out-breaking route inside unless it has to be there because the defender is going to jump the route outside. Then maybe you need to throw it on the back shoulder. But any other way, if it's behind the receiver, you're going to pay. And that's what happened on this play. Terrell Thomas picks it off. And like I said, he's been a welcome addition back to this football team. They've been waiting for him to be healthy. He's been healthy this season, and he makes a difference. Huge play in this game. Gives the Giants prime field position again. They're struggling offensively. They need all the breaks they can get. Here's another one for the Giants. They take advantage, full advantage, unlike the Raiders who take half advantage of plays like this. Giants are taking full advantage. They get a 7. Andre Brown gets in from 3 yards out. It's now 21-20 New York Giants in this football game. Eli Manning misses a wide open Victor Cruz on a 3rd and goal. Giants have to settle for a field goal. It's now 24-20. So Giants have a prime opportunity to put this game away. Even though at 24, with that field goal that you tack on, that's probably going to be enough to beat the Raiders. Ask any Raiders fan out there and they'll tell you 20 to 21 points is normally their limit per game. If they get anything over 21 points, chances are they're going to win the football game unless the other team is the Denver Broncos and they're scoring 41. If this Raiders team, with the way they play defense, can find a way to score 24, 27 points on a weekly basis, they'll win a lot of games. But the problem is they can't because their offense isn't good enough and their defense, while it's a solid defense, doesn't create enough turnovers to generate points and put their offense. And even though they did it in this game, offensively, they're still not going to put touchdowns up on the board, which is going to net you 28 points, 27 points, 30 points. They're going to kick field goals, which is going to stop you from getting over that 20 or 21 point mark, which they did in this game. And so even though Eli Manning missed Victor Cruz on an easy touchdown, I mean, this was an easy out route. If he hits Victor Cruz, he walks in the end zone from about 5 yards out. Instead, he misses him off of his fingertips. They got to kick the field goal. It's 24 to 20, but again, the Raiders have basically reached their maximum capacity for points in this game at 20. So if you're the Giants, now all you have to do is not make a mental mistake, not have a breakdown in coverage, not allow someone to run behind your defense wide open. Don't miss tackles. If you just play sound defense, you're going to beat the Raiders because they've scored their maximum allotment of points in this football game. Matthias Kiwanuka, huge forced fumble that the G-men recover as Giants melt the clock and Raiders timeouts and win the game 24 to 20. Raiders had every opportunity and then some to win this game, but again, they're the Oakland Raiders and they're a bad football team. And when you're a bad football team and you're on the road, you find ways to lose the football game. That's what bad teams do on the road. They find ways to lose games. Ask the Redskins on Thursday Night Football. That's what bad teams do. They find a way to lose games on the road. Doesn't matter if it's two bad football teams. The team on the road will find a way to lose a game if they're a bad football team. That's what the Oakland Raiders did. All I can do is give the Giants credit for taking care of a bad Oakland Raiders team, but I'm still not impressed. Eli Manning still looks like he's a mess. And this Giants team, to me, is not a good football team. And as they start playing better competition, I assume that they'll start losing games again. But if they continue to play the Raiders and the Eagles and teams that they can beat on the Vikings, if they continue to play these teams every week, the Giants will look like a playoff-worthy team. But if they continue to raise the level of play, and that's going to happen here shortly. They're not going to get to play the little sisters of the poor every week. As they continue to step up the level of competition, we'll start to see the Giants fall back to reality. But right now, they're on a 3-game winning streak. They're up to 3-6. And don't look now, they're right in the thick of things in the NFC least. And so, hats off to the Giants for getting it done. I say this all the time. Beat the team that they put in front of you. That's all you can do. All you can do is go out and beat the team that they put in front of you. In the last 3 weeks, not counting the bye week for the Giants, they put the Minnesota Vikings, Philadelphia Eagles, and Oakland Raiders in front of you, and you've been able to dispose of each and every single one of those teams. Good for you. Giants are now 3-6. So are the Oakland Raiders as they find a way to lose on the road at Giants Stadium, 24 to 20. Big win for the Giants as they go to 3-6. Another debilitating loss for the Oakland Raiders. And I'm starting to think, because I got a buddy of mine, best friend is an Oakland Raiders fan, diehard Oakland Raiders fan. Starting to think that Terrell Pryor isn't the guy at the quarterback position for the Raiders. At one point I thought, hey, maybe this guy deserves a shot. But I don't think as a Raiders general manager, if you're Reggie McKenzie, I don't think you can allow this crop of quarterbacks to pass you by and not select one of them in this upcoming draft. I don't think Terrell Pryor has shown you enough for you to bypass the quarterback position in the first round. I think you got to snatch one up. Whichever one fits your liking and is an Oakland Raiders type of quarterback, you got to snatch that guy up and keep it moving. I don't think you can allow a quarterback to pass you by in this draft after what you've seen, from Terrell Pryor in this 2013 season. So that's going to do it for this installment of In the Lab Room. I thank you for joining me. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we covered all here in the Lab Room. Thank you for joining me. I've got plenty more games to break down in week number 10. Come back and join me.